heard of this heart cancer. So can our body fight cancer at its own cell? As we divide uncontrolled and coming forward, there are other issues and organs as heard of this heart cancer. Can our body fight cancer at its own cell? As we divide uncontrolled and coming forward, there are other issues and organs as heard of this heart cancer. Can our body fight cancer is not caused by worldwide uncontrolled and coming forward, there are other issues and organs as heard of this heart cancer. Can our body fight cancer is not caused by worldwide uncontrolled and coming forward, there are other फंक्शन नहीं करते अच्छा हाँ अब कर ये नहीं कर रहा अच्छा ये पीछे के लिए ये आगे के लिए फिर से स्टार्ट करो आवाज अब ढंग से आ रही है हाँ भी आ रही है So starting off again, good afternoon everyone. Today we are going to proceed with this presentation on cancer immunotherapy. It is part of Summer School 2026 under C5 Biotech Club. So starting with it, one more thing, this today's session is completely beginner friendly. So even if you don't know much about immunotherapy, it's completely fine. We will start from the very basics. Moving forward, first of all, can our own body fight cancer? So for this, we first have to understand what cancer exactly is. So cancer is a disease in which some of our body's own cells grow and divide uncontrollably and abnormally, and which leads to invasion in the nearby tissues and organs, and sometimes spreading to the other parts of the body, which is known as metastasis. We will study more about metastasis in the upcoming slides. So now, cancer is first of all not caused by foreign cells. As we saw earlier, some of the body's own cells, so that is our body's own healthy cells, after accumulation of harmful genetic mutation, that also we will study in detail, leads to abnormal cell growth and cell division. So normally every cell, they follow a certain set of instruction coded in the DNA, like when to divide, when to stop, when to repair, etc, etc. But when mutation damage these instruction, the cell becomes selfish, and instead of working for the body, it works abnormally. So what is this mutation? So mutations are basically permanent changes in the DNA, which may cause to cancer, but many of times these mutations are just harmless. So now coming to this question, can our own body fight cancer cells? So every day billions of cells divide in our body, and many of them are abnormal, yet all of us do not develop cancer. So the reason for it is simply because our immune system constantly searches for and destroys abnormal cells, and only when some of these cells hide or escape from the immune system, cancer is developed in that patient. So you can imagine it with this analogy as our body as a city, the cells as citizens, and immune system as police. So most criminals the abnormal cells are caught immediately by the immune surveillance, but when these cells or these criminals learn to escape or hide from the police, then only cancer develops. So difference between normal cells and cancer cells. Normal cells divide only when it is needed on instructions and stop when they receive the signal to stop, whereas cancer cells divide continuously abnormally without any signal or instruction. And normal cell, they undergo very programmed cell death. It is known as apoptosis. So the process is like, when a normal cell has to die, it shrinks down to a small cell, and then it dies, so that very least damage to the surrounding is caused. Whereas a cancer cell, first of all, it avoids cell death, but when it has to die, it swells in and then blast, causing inflammation in the nearby surroundings, and this causes damage to the surrounding cells and tissues. Inflammation, it also causes inflammation, and like programmed cell death is known as apoptosis, whereas this uncontrolled this cancer cell death is known as necrosis. Also, normal cells remain in the tissue at one place, whereas cancer cells have the tendency to invade the surroundings and spread to different part of the body, which is known as metastasis. Causes of cancer. So, cancer, first of all, is caused by genetic mutations. So, genetic mutations, we will see it ahead as well. Why only some genetic mutations and not all genetic mutations. So, and also these mutations are caused by tobacco use, excessive UV radiation, certain viruses like HPV, which causes cervical cancer, hepatitis B, which causes liver cancer, harmful chemicals and pollutants. And many of the times cancer is because of inherited genetic mutations, and also unhealthy lifestyle like poor diet, lack of sleep, obesity, consumption of alcohol, and also because of aging. Moving forward, so as discussed earlier, cancer begins with mutation, and mutation is nothing but a permanent change in the DNA sequence of the cell, and most of these mutations are harmless. So, for example, you can take this analogy of a cookbook or a recipe book. So, if there is a recipe of making a cake, it is written, add 1 cup of milk in the bowl. So, if there is a mutation and this off in is deleted, then it does not make much of the effect. Like, still we can understand to add 1 cup milk to something to bowl. So in this case, the mutation does not affect much, but at the same time, if milk is removed, cup of milk is removed, uh, one is removed, so we do not know how to proceed further. In the same way, it depends if the mutation is on critical genes or not on critical genes. Accordingly, we can figure out if it is harmful or not. Moving forward, so yeah, normally cells make occasional mistakes, the mutations, but the body has strong repair system that fix most of them, and most of these mutations are harmless as well. So the cancer develops not because of one mutation but because of multiple mutations, and that too on the critical genes. Eventually, the cell loses control and begins dividing abnormally, as discussed before, the example of a recipe book. Now, so in short, we can summarize everything like a healthy cell is there. Somehow it gets genetic mutation. The mutation may be harmless, first of all, then there's no problem. Or if it is harmful, the repair system of our body helps in correcting that mutation. Else, if neither of this comes into picture, the abnormal cell is formed, and this abnormal cell also has the tendency to get killed by the immune surveillance. But in any case, it escapes either of these three conditions, then it causes cancer. So, uh, yeah, before moving forward, we can recap till here. So, starting with what is cancer? Cancer is basically a condition in which our body's own cell starts growing and dividing abnormally, invading the surrounding cells and tissues, and sometimes spreading to distant parts. Cancer cells are not from outside; they are our own body's own healthy cells, because which starts growing abnormally because of some harmful genetic mutation on critical genes. Mind this word, critical genes. Normally every cell follows instruction, but after this mutation, the cell started working abnormally. The body's own immunity, it helps in fighting with these abnormal cells, but in certain cases when these cells, abnormal cells, hide the body's immune system, only then a patient develops cancer. Difference between normal cell, cancer cell. Normal cell divided only when needed, stops with the signals and undergo programmed cell death, that is apoptosis. It also remains in one place in the tissue, whereas cancer cell, it divides continuously without any instruction, and it avoids cell death. And when it dies, the process is called necrosis, which causes inflammation and damage to the surrounding cell. Then it cancer cell also spreads to distant parts, which is known as metastasis. Coming to next, sorry, causes of cancer: genetic mutation, multiple genetic mutation on critical genes. Mutations can be caused by tobacco use, excessive UV radiation, exposure to virus such as cancer. Genetic mutations, multiple genetic mutations, age. Mutations can be caused by tobacco use, excessive UV consumption, diet, or even random errors during cell division can cause these mutations. The mutation is nothing but permanent change in the DNA sequence of the cell, and most of them are harmless. Uh, this we have already seen. So, if a healthy cell undergoes mutation because any of the earlier stated reasons, first of all, the mutation could be harmless, or it could be repaired by the body's repair system. Even after all this, if the abnormal cell grows, then it is caught by the immune surveillance. In the case that uh, abnormal cell hides or escapes from the immune system, then it is known as immune evasion. We will see about this, and then only the cancer develops. Moving forward, the symptoms of cancer. So depending on the different types of cancer, we have different symptoms. Like lung cancer develops different symptoms than breast cancer or kidney cancer, but these are some of the symptoms which are more or less common to all types of them. So first is a lump appearance, then unexplained weight loss, persistent fatigue or persistent pain, changes in skin or mole, uh, permanent cough or hoarseness, or unusual bleeding or discharge, or there may be changes in the bowel or bladder habits. So early stage cancer may not cause any symptoms, which is why screening, that is regular checkups, are very necessary. So coming to the stages of cancer: stage 0, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. So in 0 stage, it is known as carcinoma in situ. Only abnormal cells are present, but they haven't spread. But when there is a small localized tumor, it is stage 1 cancer. When the small tumor grows larger and have limited spread to the nearby lymph node, it is stage 2. When this spread increases to the lymph node, that is extensive spread, it is stage 3. And stage 4 is when cancer has spread to distant organs, which is also known as metastasis. Also, stage 4 is the most dangerous stage, while stage 0 and stage 1 are relatively comparatively less severe. And in the early stage, the chances of cure and remission is relatively pretty high than stage 4. So although the symptoms does not appear prominent in stage 0 or stage 1, but still, regular checkups can help in early detection, leading to better cure or remission. Moving forward, there's one more way of describing the severity of cancer, that is TNM system, in which T stands for tumor, N for nodes, lymph nodes, and then M for metastasis, or you can say spread to the distant organ. So for example, if it is mentioned that a patient has T2N1M0, then T2 here refers to that the tumor is approximately 3 centimeter in size. N1 is like the cancer has spread to a few nearby lymph node, that is limited spread, not extensive spread. And M0 is the cancer has not spread to distant organs. And next we have how does the immune system protect us? We have discussed about it in the initial slides, that our body's natural defense system, it detects the abnormal cells, eliminate and prevents the development of cancer. But uh, produce abnormal proteins that are the tumor antigens. And Huh. Tumor antigens, and the immune system recognize these and destroy the abnormal cells before it could grow into a bigger tumor. This is the reason why most of the potential cancers are never developed. One more thing here, I'm using these two terms, abnormal cells and tumors, very relatively. So the difference, there's no such difference, just that abnormal cell is one cell who has undergone mutation in the DNA. When such abnormal cell accumulate over a particular place, they form this big tumor. So tumor is nothing but mass of abnormal cells. Moving forward, okay, so we have immune surveillance as seen before, which helps in killing the abnormal cells. And in this, we have four main characters, two heroes and two sidekicks. The natural killer cell, NK, it destroys abnormal cells without any prior exposure or experience, like any cell with abnormalities, it kills that. Then cytotoxin T cell, CD8 T cell, it recognizes but only when it has prior exposure. So it kills cancer cell which displays abnormal proteins, the tumor antigen. And how does it gets this memory of tumor antigen? It is done by our sidekick, a dendritic cell. It presents the cancer antigen to the T cell, and in a way initiate the immune response. Also, there's one more sidekick, the macrophage, which removes dead cells and help activate our immune system. So, because of these four people, these four entities, our immune system is able to kill most of the abnormal cells. Moving forward, how does cancer escape the immune system? So, we talked about this immune evasion. Like even after all that, if the even after immune surveillance, if the cancer cell is able to hide or escape from the immune cells, this process is known as immune evasion, and it the abnormal cell uses three tactics to achieve this. First one is to hide its identity. So it reduces the display of tumor antigen so that the immune cell could not recognize it. Then it is turn off T cell. Okay, so this one I'll explain it to you in detail in the upcoming slides. So it is basically that we have checkpoints, and the tumor blocks the T cell. It inactivates the T cell so that the T cell could not kill the cancer cell. We will study more about this in the upcoming slide. Then the third one is create an immunosuppressive environment. So cancer release signals that suppress find it. Right. If there is a thief and police has to caught it, the thief could disguise himself by changing the mask, by changing his clothes, or by hiding in a bunker or some secret place. Does that mean the police is weak? No, it does not. It, it is just that the thief has learned how to escape out. So, what if we can remove this disguise of the abnormal cells? So, here is the main approach of immunotherapy, that we indeed re- remove the disguise of the hiding abnormal cells. So the traditional cancer treatment, it attacks the cancer directly. That's the approach of traditional cancer treatment, the surgery, chemotherapy, or you can say the radiation therapy. All three of them, they just they target the cancer cells, while immunotherapy, which is one of the modern therapies, it its main approach is to build a more stronger immune system, to assess the immune system to fight for us against cancer cells. So that's the main approach of it. Immune therapy is a treatment that helps body's own immune system recognize, attack, and destroy cancer cells. So, as discussed earlier, traditional therapy, they focuses on destroying the cancer cells, whereas in immunotherapy, it activates the immune system by using immune cells and immune signals. The traditional therapies use surgery, chemotherapy, or radiation to eradicate the tumor, but the modern the immune therapy, it is indeed using body's own immune system. So in the traditional therapy can damage healthy cells. That's the one of the biggest side effects of these three therapies. But immune therapy is more targeted and more precise. but it is not completely side effect free. That also we will see ahead. So moving forward, so these are the 6 types of cancer immune therapy. The immune checkpoint inhibition, CAR T cell therapy, monoclonal antibodies, cancer vaccines, oncolytic virus therapy, and cytokine therapy. So let's think about it. If immunotherapy activates the immune system, does that mean it works for every type of cancer? So you can take a moment and just guess about it. Works for every type of cancer? So you can take a moment and just guess about it. Don't touch it, just keep it there. Okay, I'll start it over from immune checkpoint inhibition part. So our body has a natural system by that is checkpoints that helps the T cell, the immune system, to identify our body's own healthy cells from the abnormal cells. So there are many checkpoints, but this PD1 checkpoint on T cell, which helps in identifying body's own healthy cells. But what the cancer cell does is it produces PDL1, which bind with this receptor, and the T cell get this message, don't attack me, and thereby T cells are inactivated. This mechanism of PD1 receptor, the checkpoint, this was meant to identify our own cells, but in a way, cancer used it to hide itself, its identity. So, in immune checkpoint inhibition, we actually provide these inhibitor drugs which block this binding. So, it has built-in safety switches called immune checkpoints. The checkpoints prevent T cell from attacking the body's own cells to avoid autoimmune diseases. One important checkpoint is PD1 found in T cell. Many cancer cells produce PDL1, and this PDL1, when it binds with this receptor, PD1 receptor, the T cells are inactivated. Moving forward, so how does checkpoint inhibitor work? So these inhibitor drugs block these interaction, and T cell is reactivated and thereby destroying the cancer cell. So two very important examples are mentioned here. I would appreciate if you can pronounce these. Then also in 2018, two gentlemen, James Allison and Tasuku Honjo, got Nobel Prize in Medicine for their discovery of checkpoint therapy. Moving to the next type of immune therapy, it is the CAR T cell therapy. In this, scientists remove the T cells from a patient's blood, genetically modify it to express a new receptor, that is chimeric antigen receptor, CAR. And this receptor is a very highly precise and specific GPS to identify the cancer cells. So all it does is the T cells are removed from the patient. They are genetically modified to express the chimeric antigen receptor, which works as a very high specific GPS, helping the T cells to identify cancer cells efficiently. And then these T cells are multiplied in labs and then infused back to the patient, where these genetically modified T cells, they multiply as well as actively hunt for the cancer cells. So also this CAR T therapy is known as living medicine because the treatment consists of living genetically engineered T cells that continues to multiply inside the patient's body. And this CAR T therapy is one of the first successful example of personalized medicine, because in every set of treatment, the patient's T cells are modified specifically for that individual. So it is more personalized, and that hits to the limitations that it is very expensive and time consuming to manufacture. Also, it causes cytokine release syndrome, which is like overactivated, exaggerated immune responses causing to autoimmune diseases as well. And it is mainly effective against blood cancer only. So yeah, all the three types of blood cancer, leukemia, lymphoma, and multiple myeloma, these are the three types of blood cancer. So CAR T therapy is extremely helpful to in their treatment. So leukemia is basically the cancer of WBC. Lymphoma is cancer of lymph nodes, lymph cells, and multiple myeloma is cancer of platelet cells. Moving to the next. Okay, so here comes one question. Why does RBCs, like, why there is no such cancer for RBC as there is for WBC, lymph platelets, but not for RBC? So please think about it, and this is one of the question for your assignment. Moving forward, we have monoclonal antibodies. So, antibodies, as we all know, are proteins which are naturally produced by B cells of our body, and it helps in recognizing the foreign particles. So, scientists started manufacturing identical antibodies in laboratories, which they named as monoclonal antibodies. And these monoclonal antibodies, these are infused in the patient's body, so that these monoclonal antibodies recruit immune cells to destroy the cancer once it binds to uh, once the monoclonal antibody is infused in the patient's blood. These antibodies binds to the tumor cells and helps in recruiting immune cells to destroy cancer there. It also blocks the growth signals of that tumor and delivers chemotherapy or radioactive molecule directly to the tumor for its destruction. So it is more precise than the chemotherapy, because as we know, in chemotherapy all the rapidly dividing cells, even the hair follicles which are not to be killed, are still destroyed because they are rapidly growing. But herein it is more, since it is more precise, and these antibodies only bind with the cancer antigen, the tumor antigen, so thus leading to less damage to the healthy cells. So this is the definition. Monoclonal antibodies are laboratory made proteins designed to recognize, bind to specific targets or antigens on cancer cells while minimizing damage to the nearby tissues. And again, we have three examples for this, for three different: lymphoma, breast cancer, and lung cancer. How these antibodies have helped in their treatment. So again, if monoclonal antibodies can specifically recognize cancer cells, why don't they attack every type of cancer? Because different cancers express different antigens, and a monoclonal antibody only works if its target antigen is present. So moving forward, it's cancer vaccine. Unlike other vaccines for bacteria, viruses, this vaccine also helps the immune system in recognizing and attacking the cancer cells. So, like any other vaccine, you must have heard before. What it does, it introduces weakened or dead infection inside the body, so that the immune system gets its exposure and a memory of it, so that the next time the infection attacks the body, our immune system is ready for that. Similarly, in cancer vaccines, the tumor antigens are introduced to the body. The dendritic cell, thus our sidekick, it presents these antigen to the T cells and to activate the T cells, so that the T cells can identify and destroy cancer cells carrying the same antigen. we have two types of cancer vaccines. One is the preventive vaccine, one is the therapeutic vaccine. So one is for prevention and one is for cure. Preventive vaccines, they prevent virus related to cancer like HPV, which HPV vaccines which helps in the prevention of cervical cancer. Hepatitis B vaccine, it helps in the prevention of liver cancer. And then we have therapeutic vaccines. So these treat people who already have cancer, like Sipuleucel-T, which helps in the treatment of prostate cancer. Now again, can a vaccine cure every type of cancer? So not really. Cancer is highly diverse. Different tumors have different antigens. Take it, which actually makes it very difficult to create a universal cancer vaccine. So next is cytokine therapy. In this, cytokines are infused in the patient's body to stimulate the immune cells and enhance T cell activity, achieving the goal to boost the body's natural defense against cancer. So cytokines basically are signaling proteins. It helps in the immune cells communication. So two examples are interferon A and interleukin 2 IL-2. So these two they are infused in the person's blood so that these cytokines can help in immune cell stimulation and enhancing the activity of T cell. Then we have oncolytic virus therapy, in which a genetically modified virus which do not affect the healthy cells, they only infect the cancer cells and multiply inside them to destroy the tumor, which indeed triggers the immune response. So the examples are TVEC. TVEC was the first FDA approved oncolytic virus therapy, making a major milestone in cancer treatment. Moving forward, so these were the 6 types of immune therapy. We will get a recap of it. So last was from this symptoms. We saw these 8 are the symptoms of cancer, although different cancer have different symptoms, but these 8 are common to all of them, and also these are not so prominent in the initial stages of cancer. That's why regular checkups are very necessary. These are the stages of cancer starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 being the most serious and severe case, while 0 and 1 are relatively manageable. TNM system: T stands for tumor, N for lymph node, M for metastasis. Accordingly, the severity of cancer is determined. How does the immune system protect us? It detects the abnormal proteins, the tumor antigens, and eliminate the abnormal cells, preventing cancer development. We also discussed here the difference between tumor and abnormal cell. I hope you remember that. the main characters of our immune system. The natural killer cell, they kill the abnormal cell no matter what. Cytokine T cell, CD8 T cell, it only kills when it has a prior exposure to it, which is given by the dendritic cell. Macrophages remove dead cells and also help in immune activation. So moving to the next, immune evasion. As we saw, there are first of all, mutations are harmless, then it also undergoes repair mechanism, and then there is immune surveillance as well. But still some of the people develop cancer because of immune evasion. The process by which the abnormal cells escape or hide from the immune system is known as immune evasion. There are three tactics used by the cancer cells. First is to hide their identity, as in to reduce the display of their tumor antigen so that the immune system could not recognize them. Turn off T cell, that is to express PD-L1 protein and bind to the PD-1 receptor on T cell so that the T cell becomes inactive. Third is to create an immunosuppressive environment. Cancer release signals which suppress the immune system. So these are the three ways by which immune evasion is achieved by the cancer cells. Moving forward, this also we saw. Immune therapy is basically a totally different, completely different approach from the traditional cancer treatment, which attacks the cancer directly by surgery, radiation, or chemotherapy. Immunotherapy, whereas it helps the immune system to fight for us against cancer, and it uses immune cells and immune signals. It activates the immune system, and it is more targeted but not necessarily side effect free. Traditional therapies, their main side effect disadvantage was that they also damage cancer, the healthy cells, like growing hair follicles. Moving forward, these six types of cancer immunotherapy: immune checkpoint inhibitor, in which the checkpoint inhibitor drug blocks the PD-1 and PD-L1 interaction, and T cell is reactivated again. So then the CAR T cell therapy, in which the T cells of the person are taken out and genetically modified to express chimeric antigen receptor, CAR, which helps in identifying the cancer cells with more efficiency. These genetically modified T cells are multiplied in labs and then infused back to the patient's body to actively kill down the cancer cells and also multiply inside the patient's body. So these are also known as living medicine because they are living genetically modified T cells. And also this is one of the first successful example of personalized medicine, because for every person a different set of genetically modified T cells are to be prepared. That leads to its biggest limitation, that it is very expensive and time consuming. Also, it may leads to cytokine release syndrome, which is basically exaggerated or overactivated immune system, leading to autoimmune diseases. This CAR T therapy is very efficient for all the three types of blood cancer, that is leukemia, WBC cancer, lymphoma, lymph cancer, and multiple myeloma, that is platelet cancer. So monoclonal antibodies, as we saw, antibodies are proteins which helps in detecting the foreign substances, and inspired from the natural antibodies produced by B cells. Scientists created monoclonal antibodies in labs, which are then infused to the patient's body so that it binds to the immune cell, to the cancer cells, and blocks the growth signals. Also recruit immune cells to destroy these cancer cells. They also help in delivering chemotherapy or radioactive molecule to the tumor. Unlikely chemotherapy, wherein the Even the healthy, rapidly growing cells like the hair follicles are destroyed. In this monoclonal antibody therapy, it is more precise and healthy cells are least affected. Moving forward, cancer vaccines, like other bacteria or viral vaccine, it helps an immune system to recognize and attack the cancer cells. Here in tumor antigens are introduced. Dendritic cell present these tumor antigen to the T cells, and T cells identify and destroy cancer cells carrying the same antigen. There are two types of cancer vaccines: therapeutic vaccine and preventive vaccine. Preventive vaccine is to prevent virus related to cancer like HPV for cervical cancer and hepatitis B for liver cancer. Therapeutic vaccine, it treats patient who already have cancer. For example, prostate cancer could be treated by Sipuleucel D vaccine. Moving forward, cytokine therapy. Cytokines are signaling proteins which helps in immune activation and enhancing T cell. So these cytokines are infused in blood like interferon A and interleukin 2 IL-2, which helps in boosting body's natural defense against cancer. Then we have oncolytic virus therapy, in which modified viruses which do not affect the healthy cells and only infect the cancer cells are introduced to the body. They multiply inside the tumor cells and destroy the cancer cells, triggering immune response. For example, TVEC. Now, here is the table to summarize all the 6 types of immune therapies. If you notice or analyze deeply, in all 6 of them, we are not directly attacking the tumor or cancer. We are indeed enhancing the immune system. Like in checkpoint inhibitor, we are removing the immune brakes. CAR-T therapy, we are engineering T cells, which are again part of immune system. Monoclonal activities, we are targeting cancer cells via antibodies. Cancer vaccine, training the immune system to get a memory of the tumor antigens. Cytokine therapy, we are boosting immune communication. And oncolytic virus therapy, we are using engineered viruses. Now, okay. So till now we saw all, till now it was the main part of this presentation. We saw the 6 different types of immune therapies. So now there's one question, that are these 6, till now these 6 are, we saw the theoretical part of these therapies, but are these only for namesake, or was there actually any improvement in the field of cancer treatment because of them? So that we are going to study here: clinical success stories and real world impact. So no doubt immune therapy is changing cancer treatment. The way it was being treated, the approach, it was taken a long back by traditional therapies, the chemo, radiation, and surgery. No doubt it has changed completely now, as in we are training the immune system. So, melanoma, that is the skin cancer, once considered one of the deadliest cancer, is now considered quite treatable because of checkpoint inhibitors, which has significantly improved the long-term survival. Then leukemia and lymphoma, the 2 types of blood cancers, these are their complete cure is possible because of CAR-T cell therapies. And HER2 positive breast cancer, it is being treated by monoclonal antibodies and has drastically improved the patient. So, if immune therapy has been so successful, why isn't it used for every cancer patient? Till now, there were so many no's to the previous questions. So by now you must have guessed that here also the answer is a no. So because every cancer is different, some cancer respond extremely well while others have developed additional way to evade the immune system. That's why it is not completely the ultimate cure for all type of cancer. Challenges and side effects. Immune therapy is no doubt a powerful tool, but it is not the universal cure. As mentioned earlier, cancer is highly diverse. One of the challenges is that not every patient responds. Some respond extremely well, but not all not all respond the same way. Even two patients with the same type of cancer, for example lung cancer, do not respond similarly. Then some tumors remain invisible to the immune system, that is also there, and different cancer behave differently. Secondly, immune related side effects are also seen in many patients, as I told you earlier, cytokine release syndrome. An overactivated immune system may attack healthy organs as well, leading to skin rashes, colitis, intestinal inflammation, lung inflammation, and also autoimmune diseases as well. So, these were the side effects, and many therapies like CAR T therapy are high cost and time consuming. Also, cancer can develop resistance towards these as well. So that is also one of the major concern in the oncologic field. Uh, this you can think about it. If you were to design an ideal cancer treatment, what would you want to do to achieve it? Like, what would be your aim? First of all, it should be side effect free, or should produce least side effects. Then it should not be time consuming, affordable to almost all of the people in the society, and so on. You can think about it. Then this type of cancer, this we missed earlier. So based on the tissue where it begin, the cancer is classified into six major types. Please note that when we are commonly describing cancer, we name it after the organ that is affected, like the breast cancer or the lung cancer. But scientifically, however, they are classified based on the type of cell the tumor and the cancer cells originated from. For example, if someone is affected by lung cancer or breast cancer, commonly it is said breast cancer, but scientifically it is classified as carcinoma, that is the skin or epithelial tissue cancer, because it has started from the epithelial cells. So there are six types, starting with carcinoma, skin and epithelial tissue, which is the most common type of cancer. Sarcoma, bone, muscle, fat, and connective tissue. Leukemia, blood forming tissues. Lymphoma, lymphatic system. Myeloma, plasma cells, part of immune cells. Melanoma, the pigment producing skin cells. So these are the six types of cancers. Now, cancer treatment, these surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, I've repeated so many times, these are the traditional types of therapies. Then there is targeted therapy, precision medicine, stem cell or bone marrow transplant, hormone therapy, immune therapy. This we have discussed in much of detail. Moving forward to cancer prevention, you need to have a healthy diet, proper lifestyle, take adequate rest and sleep. Please focus on your sleep cycle and diet. It is the most important thing. Regular checkups, as we saw, they are very, very, very needed. Family and environmental support, social well-being is also very much necessary. and also avoid smoking, tobacco, and alcohol consumption. Now, can cancer be completely cured? So, it is a very complex answer. Let me read it for you. So, there is no single cure for all cancers because cancer is not one disease, it is a group of hundreds of different diseases. Okay, why it is said that cancer is a group of hundreds of diseases? It is because different types of cancer are treated differently, they affect the body differently, and they are very diverse. So if you're saying cancer, two people have cancer does not means they both are in the same pace, they both are having the same condition, not at all. So cancer is very diverse, and so it is known as group of hundreds of different diseases. Like lung cancer is different from breast cancer, is different from kidney cancer, different from skin cancer. So many cancers can be cured if detected early, which I was telling in regular checkups part, while others can be controlled or treated effectively for many years. Advances in immunotherapy and personalized medicine continues to improve survival and bring us closer to long-term remission and potential cure for most cancer types. While there is no universal cure yet, modern medicine is transforming many cancers from life threatening diseases into treatable and sometimes curable as well. Future of immunotherapy is rapidly evolving with oops sorry Future of immunotherapy is rapidly evolving with the researchers developing more personalized, effective, and safer treatments. Future advances include personalized cancer vaccines, improved CAR T cell therapies, for solid tumor combination therapies, AI guided treatment selection, and gene editing as well. The goal is to make immunotherapy effective for more patients with while reducing side effects. The future of cancer treatment lies in smarter therapies that harness the power of immune system with greater precision. Now it's time for the assignments. I have a few sets of questions for you people. So assignment 1, describe the different types of cancer treatment. There were I think 8 were there, right? So immune therapy we have discussed in detail. um, you have to describe the rest 7 of them briefly, like just study about it, write your takeaways. Then it is why there is no such thing as RBC cancer. So think about it. You can search in Google as well. The answer is really interesting. Like we all know the reason why, but it won't strike you at the moment. And then third one is explore and find out which method of treatment best suits for which type of cancer. So I would be sharing this presentation on the group, and you can just go through the slides of this presentation, revise it once, and you can take a note of like different first search about the different cancers, like cervical cancer, kidney cancer, etc. And once you do that, for example, blood cancer, we saw that CAR T therapy is best for cancer, blood cancer treatment. Then prostate cancer, it is by cancer vaccine. So you have to make a list of all this, like which cancer is treated best with which type of method. Fine. Then next is imagine cancer never existed. Which discoveries in biology and medicine might humanity never have made? So this is a bonus question. I won't like, since it is time consuming, so I won't force you to do that like compulsorily. But yeah, you can just give it a shot. It would be interesting. You will have a fun time searching for it. Then five, it is very important for you. Check the frequency of regular checkups for each member of your family. For cancer screening. So checkup frequency depends on the age, risk factor, etc. So you have to check the frequency, and please do go for regular checkups. It is very necessary. So that's a wrap here. I would like to conclude this presentation on this note. Cancer can affect anyone, but awareness and prevention can save lives. The future of cancer treatment is not just about destroying cancer, but it is also empowering the body's own defense system to win the fight. So thank you everyone for being a very patient audience. Your time and attendance is appreciated. This slide would be posted on the group, and you can just download it from there. Thank you so much.